in. Alright. Cut. Stop. Alright, we're going to address things in order, properly. We're going to give it attention where attention is needed. And first we'll play a few things, and then we'll give you our comments and takes on it. We do have Bono here.
In this country, broad-based prosperity
And Obama.
trickled down from the success
And I kind of have a problem here right off the bat.
Strong and growing middle class. That's how a generation who went to college on the GI Bill. In this country, broad-based prosperity has never trickled down from the success of a wealthy few. It has always come from the success of a strong and growing middle class. That's how a generation who went to college on the GI Bill, including my grandfather, helped build the most prosperous...
Okay, we're stopping this. Alright, first of all, you can't stop greed. You can't stop people, you know, with the money. They're always going to have the money. Colleges, for instance. I mean, what do they do with all their money? Alright, back to the tape.
Or no. That's why a CEO like Henry Ford made it his mission to pay his workers enough so they could buy the cars that they made. And yet, for much of the last century, we have been having the same argument with folks who keep peddling some version of trickle-down economics.
Trickle-down economics.
That if we convert more of our investment...
Well, where is it coming from?
...research and healthcare...
Somebody has to have it.
...especially for the wealthy, our economy will grow stronger. Now, the problem for advocates of this theory is that we've tried their approach. At the beginning of the last decade, the wealthiest Americans received a huge tax cut in 2001.
If you want to be the president of a bank, you first got to start off being the janitor.
We were promised that these tax cuts would lead...
Am I right or am I right? All right, back to the story here.
Wealthy got wealthier, but prosperity sure didn't trickle down. Instead, during the last decade, we had the slowest job growth in half a century. There was a period when insurance companies and mortgage lenders and financial institutions didn't have to abide by strong enough regulations.
Are they regulated now? We're getting ready for Bono.
But so did people's health insurance premiums.
Yep, that's a big one there.
Patients were routinely denied care, often when they needed it most.
Wonder why.
Families were enticed and sometimes just plain tricked into buying homes they couldn't afford.
Are we regulated now? That's what I want to know.
Bets were made with other people's money on the line, and our entire financial system was nearly...
Let's check our wall here.
So we tried this theory out, and you would think that after
nothing.
This experiment, that the proponents of this theory might show some humility. You think they'd say...
Maybe some of the light workers probably can catch my vibes here.
Necessary to protect the economy.
Because I'm all about helping.
At a time of growing debt and widening inequality, we should hold off on giving the wealthy...
You look at all the corporations, you look at all the news media, you look at all, I mean, hey.
That's exactly the opposite.
You look at all the colleges. But no, we're looking, what are we looking at?
The Republicans running Congress...
Right. Let's go to Bono. Maybe Bono can help us out here.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage Amr Menon, MBA student.
I have a little problems here.
McDonough School of Business. John J. DeGioia, president of Georgetown.
Hold on.
Thank you all for being here tonight. Sorry if I seem a little...
Alright, she's a little nervous because Bono was there.
Sorry. My name is Amr.
I would be too. Come on, we gotta fast forward this up. A little more.
At the McDonough School of...
Alright. There we go.
In a world where that quality is not always on tap. Very special man. We're thrilled. The band are thrilled. They wanted me to say thank you to you also, Brian, because the band have committed, as you heard, to the idea that every school kid in Ireland will have access to free music lessons if they need them. So Brian's been helping us out with that, along with Loretta Gluck.
Oh, come on, Gary. All right, hold up. Hold up. Hold up a second here.
and the American Ireland Fund. Thanks, of course, especially to President DeGioia, who has made me feel so welcome here, and to Dean Thomas of the McDonough School of Business, and to JT, right there, who's learning the chords of Sunday Bloody Sunday instead of doing his homework. That's the President's son. All right, JT. And Amu Menon, look at that. This is the spirit, and that is going to change the world. You have it in here, in this room. It is, by the way. Wow. I mean, you two has played some nice holes.
Something's going on here, Gary.
I don't know if this is like a lectern or a pulpit, but I feel oddly comfortable. It's a bit of a worry, isn't it?
Bono's a good man. Don't get that wrong.
Culture stuff
at all.
101. Please take out your notebooks. Today we're going to discuss why rock stars should never ever be given the microphone at institutions of higher learning. You will receive no credits for taking this class. Not even street cred. It's too late for that. I will, of course, be dropping the odd, cultural reference to give the impression that I know what where your generation is at. I do not. I am not sure where I am at. And the first existential question of this class might be, what am I doing in Healy Hall? I could be down having my third pint at the Tombs. Pop culture references. Rockstar does research. And I heard that election night was quite messy on the pint front. Isn't it amazing how 3 pints can make everything seem like a victory, but 4 or 5 and you just know you're about to taste defeat. Anyway, congratulations are in order. Not just for for turning out in record numbers, and forgetting politics for a minute, but for electing an extraordinary man as president. I think you have to say that, whatever your political tradition. But also, you are finally free from the tyranny of negative advertising from both sides. Those attack ads, could you bear any more of it by the end? Can you imagine what it would be like if we did this for everything, all the time, attack ads about TV shows, rival smartphone companies, college admissions? Hello, we're Georgetown and we approve this message. Let me say a few words about some other fine schools you might be considering. UVA. Thomas Jefferson, what have they done to you? Syracuse, a school whose mascot is a fruit. Duke! Hold on. Hold it. Duke, a school that worships the devil. Georgetown, you're in with the other guy. Georgetown has God on its side. Everyone knows God is a Catholic, right? 2 words. Frank Sinatra. That proves it. It's okay. Anyway, I've been hanging out with politicians more than I should admit, but I guess I don't really get these ads, and I don't really understand politics in that form, actually. I'd like to hear attack ads on things worth attacking. If there was an attack ad on malaria, I'd get that, because 3,000 people die every day, mostly kids, of malaria. Let's have an attack ad on malaria. Let's have an attack ad on mother-to-child transmission of HIV/AIDS. I'd get that. Choose your enemies carefully, because they define you. make sure they're interesting enough, because trust me, you're going to spend a lot of time in their company. So let's pick a worthwhile enemy, shall we? How about all the obstacles to fulfilling human potential, not just yours or mine, but the world's potential? I would suggest to you that the biggest obstacle in the way right now is extreme poverty. Poverty so extreme it brutalizes, it vandalizes human dignity. Poverty so extreme it laughs at the concept of equality. Poverty so extreme it doubts how far we've traveled in our journey of equality. The journey that began with Wilberforce taking on slavery, and it will not end until misery and deprivation.
Hey, Mr. Tambourine Man, play a song for me. I'm not sleepy, and there's no place I'm
social
going
movements
to.
have always been powerful. But the subject of my speechifying tonight is going to point out what is the transformative element about this moment and this generation, and the chance that you have to rid the world of the obscenity of extreme poverty. Wouldn't that be a hell of a way to start the 21st century? Now, the history department might disagree with me, and I'll admit I only lasted a few weeks in college. But I don't believe that the 21st century started in the year 2000 on January 1. For large parts of the world, I think it started in 2011 with the upheaval of the Arab Spring. What happened in Egypt was that the pyramid, the traditional model of power, got inverted. The people at the top got upended, and the base had its say. Now, the Arab Spring is ongoing, it's messy, it's dangerous, and dangerously wrong in some geographies. But what I'm talking about is bigger than Egypt or any place else. It's a massive shift. It's one of those moments that in 100 years, the real historians, like those at Georgetown, will write about this phenomenon in the history books. The base of the pyramid, the 99%, is taking more control. The institutions that have always governed our lives, church, state, mainstream media, music industry, are being bypassed and weakened and seriously tested. People are holding them to account, us to account, demanding that they be more open, more responsive, more effective, or else. Here in the U.S., you've had the Tea Party hammering big government. You've had Occupy do the same to the jolly bankers of Wall Street. Social movements are competing. And we have to hope that the more enlightened ones will win the day. Social movements like the One campaign. And we're right, with 3.2 million people have died, asking the world to pay attention to the least, the very poorest of the world's poor, and the many things we can do to help them. As I'll describe.
And we'll continue tomorrow with the Bono. Thank you for joining us on the West One Radio.
Terrier Square.
We're on this.
Mobile phones. Across the parched lands of the Sahel and the dense rain.
We're on board.
Technology is transforming things. Everything's speeding up. Everything's opening up. Now, if I can talk about something I actually know about for a moment, this feeling reminds me a little bit, maybe more than a little bit, of the arrival of punk rock in the mid-70s. You see, the Clash were the very base of the rock and roll pyramid, and overnight gave the finger to the dreadful business, the lurgy of the time, that was at the top of the pyramid. It was called progressive rock. Epic songs, no good lyrics, no good hooks. Great reviews. Punk bands made no pretense of being better than the audience. Punk bands were the audience. If you wanted to play, great, grab a guitar, you're in the band.
Yeah, this is going to be a long speech, so we'll have to continue it tomorrow. We'll pick up where we left off.
With guitars.
Thank you, Bono.
And they gave you two the idea that social activism